One-pan meals are the easiest way to just cook something delicious and just sit back and relax while magic happens. And that is what we're gonna be cooking right here on this episode of Miss Mandi Throwdown, and I'm looking forward to this throwdown for sure. So I went ahead to peel about 4 medium-sized potatoes. They were about this size. And then, of course, they went ahead to produce this many potatoes. And this can feed 2. If you want, you can decrease the amount of potatoes to feed 1 as well. We have about 8 mushrooms, button mushrooms here. I get a lot of questions about where do I buy my mushrooms. So places you can check out are Zucchini, Carrefour, Food Plus as well. I feel like sometimes Nivus has them depending on which Nivus you go to. So those are the places that you can go and of course get yourself some mushrooms. Next we have 3/4 of an onion which I have sliced, and we have 2 chicken sausages right here. I prefer chicken. Major reason being I just feel like it's better for my goals. To be honest with you, I don't prefer beef or pork. However, if that's what you have at home, it will still work as well. We have some black pepper and some salt, also have some paprika. If you don't have paprika, you can also just use your salt and black pepper. However, paprika enables the potatoes to have this beautiful color when it comes to making them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna preheat our oven, and while that is happening, we're gonna go ahead and boil our potatoes for 5 minutes in order for them to, of course, give us less cook time in the oven. Let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm doing right now is, of course, slicing my mushrooms in order for them to be able to cook well. I never usually cook them when they're whole. Sometimes I do. However, for this recipe, it requires for you to slice them. So our potatoes have boiled. We're gonna be adding in about 1/2 tablespoon, or rather 1 tablespoon of oil. We're gonna be adding in, of course, some salt into here. Honestly, guys, put salt to your liking. If you do not like salt, then don't put it. I usually just salt my food to my liking. So I've added in about 3 pinches of salt into here. We're gonna be adding in some black pepper. About 1/2 teaspoon. And then finally, we're gonna be adding in our paprika. So we're adding in about 1/2 teaspoon or 3/4 teaspoon of paprika. So we're just gonna make sure they're all coated well. I tend not to add garlic, that's just my preference. Onto this meal, especially when I use paprika, because I find it such an overpowering spice sometimes. So, however, you can still add it if you want. To my garlic lovers, please don't catch feelings. Our potatoes are well coated. They look so beautiful. I love what paprika does to food. So that's perfect. We're gonna just take our baking tray right here. And of course, just place in our potatoes. Now, the major reason why I'm putting them on one side of the tray is because we're gonna be utilizing the whole tray, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna ask me, where do you buy your baking tray? Please put us on. I bought this actually at a shop that I saw in Greenhouse. It was on sale a bunch of months back, so I just decided to grab it. So yeah. There go in your potatoes onto one side. Then you're gonna take some oil. You're gonna take your chicken sausages, and then you're just gonna coat them well with oil. And then you're gonna place them on the tray. They're gonna take about the same amount of time with the potatoes to cook, actually, because we've already parboiled the potatoes. So as they're getting crispy, the sausages will be cooking. Now, we've been preheating our oven on the highest heat. We're about to bring it down all the way to like a 180, 170 degrees. And that is because we want everything to cook at a great temperature. Another thing is, I want to mention, I'm going to cook it on the third level. You know how in the oven there's the first, second, and the third level? I prefer to cook it on the third level so that things don't burn. Now, because we have sausages going in, you're going to need to rotate your sausages. So you're going to need to keep an eye, maybe after like 2-3 minutes. If they start browning, make sure you turn them so that they cook evenly on all sides. So let's pop this into the oven, but first let me clean my hands. Of course, I'm gonna set my timer for 15 minutes, and I'm just gonna be checking on the sausages. Now, while that is going on, we're gonna take our onions and mushrooms, put them in a bowl. We're going to be adding in some salt into this. Some black pepper as well. About half a teaspoon. And then lastly, we're going to be adding in our cooking oil. About half a tablespoon. Or even less than that, actually. I just want to make sure everything is coated well with the oil and the spices, of course. And we're just gonna wait until it's the right time to pop these bad boys in onto the tray, just like we did with everything else. In about 25 minutes, I just, of course, continuously turned the sausages, and you can just see like they're just about to finish getting ready. So this is the perfect time for me to move aside the potatoes, which of course, when I was checking on the sausages, I kept tossing as well. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and place these mushrooms and onions in here. And then we're just gonna place it back in the oven. So the onions and the mushrooms have been cooking for 9 minutes because I do time myself. And it's because I wanted the onions to fully cook through as opposed to just like, still being slightly raw. If you like that, just make sure to keep an eye on them. And of course, you can get that exact way you like your onions, right? And don't forget to like toss and turn them in order to make sure everything cooks through well. Anyway, this is one of those meals that takes about 35 to 40 minutes depending on how hot your oven gets or depending on how well you want to cook your food. And of course, it's going to save you on a lot of time, especially on that lazy Saturday morning, lazy Sunday as well, or if you're just cooking up for somebody because it is that month of love and you just want to share a little bit of love. Anyway, I will be sharing this with my crew that is here, but in the meantime, I want to hear from you in the comment section below. Which other one-pan meals would you like to see me throw down, especially since I cook them on my Insta stories? Do let me know. Also, when you make your one-pan breakfast, what do you add? I'm curious. I'm looking forward to all your feedback, but in the meantime, I want to say thank you so much for all the love that you're showing to all my Throwdown videos. In the meantime, let me dig in. I'm going to catch you guys on the next video.